Okay, today I'm going to show you how to set up Oxyacetylene Torch set. Got a cutting tip on it this time, so I'll show you how to adjust the flame as well. When you're using a torch, you should have goggles, number 5s. It's not as bright as welding, but it's still bright, so you should have number 5s on. These are number 5s, they fit quite well. I'm just going to show you how to set the torch first. So our regulators are turned off. Hose is bled. So to begin, we need to set the regulated pressure. So this is the valve for the oxygen, and this T-handle is the valve for the acetylene. I'm going to open both of these up. So the torch is open because I want to set the flow. So when we open this valve here on the oxygen, this gauge is the tank pressure, and this gauge will be the regulated pressure. So there's nothing at all. I haven't set the regulator. These are backed out for storage. And same here, the gauge closest to the valve here, this is tank pressure, and this will be regulated pressure. So, let's see, oh, we got a little bit left. About 500 psi in this guy, it's getting low. I've opened these up. Make sure you don't wrench down really hard on these brass valves. They're really hard to open if you don't have to go really tight. Just loosen these off. So we're going to set this to, we want 5 and 25. So on the oxygen, I want to look at this gauge, and I want 25-ish. So it's flowing at 25. I'll turn off the oxygen. Oxygen is green. That's the green hose. Acetylene here is the red hose. Okay, again, got the valve open. I'm going to turn this on. See, we've got 425 psi in the tank. It's getting low too. Okay, and regulated pressure, well, we've got to sit it in. I like to do 5 and 25. Acetylene is unstable over 15 psi. There's 5, it's set. Okay, and I'll shut this off. There we go. So our flows are set. We do not want to go higher than 15. Acetylene becomes unstable. You can have an explosion, so we don't want to do that. It's 5. We just run it at 5. So this is the part that burns, the acetylene, and this is the part that it's the accelerant, it's the oxygen, right? No oxygen, no fire. But oxygen on its own will not burn, okay? So when we shut these down, the common saying is A before O, or up you go. Well, oxygen doesn't burn, so we'll turn off the part that burns, the acetylene here, and then the oxygen. So A before O, or up you go. Okay, I don't use a lighter to light the torch. Why would you want a source of fuel, miniature bomb in your hand? What if it happens if the lighter caught on fire? Blow your hand off, or at least burn yourself quite well. So we use this guy, a little sparker. So we're going to turn on the flame, and you only need to turn it on just a smidge. That's it. That's a carbonizing flame. See all the soot coming off of that? So we got to add some oxygen. Whoa, not that much. There we go. We're going to add some oxygen so we get a nice. There we go. A little bit of crud there on the tip, but that's what we're looking for. We've got a nice flame, no carbon floating about. The blue tip, and then you see this, the tip of that blue cone there, that is actually the hottest part of this flame. Okay, and we can adjust that, adding or removing oxygen. This is for cutting. We need much more than that. There we go. So we can heat the metal up, and as soon as it melts, then we can add some oxygen, and we'll just blow that molten metal out of the way. It's called a blowtorch. In another video, I'll show you cutting metal with this. We can use this for heating, but it truly is a cutting tip. A heating tip would not have this valve. It would just have these two. Lighting, it's the same. Start with your acetylene, add your oxygen, and get a nice flame like that. Okay, a little bit hotter. It's a nice flame. You can heat up pretty well any piece of metal and blow it out, and we would be cutting metal with this torch. To shut it down, I'm going to turn off the fuel first, and then the oxygen. put this tank away. So at the end of the day, we're done. We've used it a few times. We're going to put it away. We're going to turn off the tanks. And again, brass valve, don't need to go crazy on it. It's just snug, right? Snug. Same here. Twist the handle. Snug. I'm going to open these up and bleed the hoses out. I'm going to bleed the hoses and take the pressure off these regulators. When you can spin it like that, that's free. Same here. There we go. When it moves freely like that, the regulators are off. There's a spring inside, and if you just leave them loaded all the time, you'll wear them out faster and they won't work correctly. So we just release the pressure off of both. Make sure you drain the hose, and then you can put it away. Okay, proper storage. We roll the hose up, like so. Okay. Put this into the tray, and now we're good to go. If you ever need to move this about the shop, it is on a chain. Put a hand on the biggest tank, foot on the bottom, not let go, and then you move it. Put it where you want to put it, set it down, and proceed to use the torch set. When you're not using them, you can tuck them in a corner, and they can stay like this for a long time. At home, I don't have need to use the torch a lot, but I've had probably my acetylene tank, which is the same size as this one, for more than a decade, and I have not run out because I bleed and I turn them off at the tank, and when I need them, I fire them up and off I go. So if you take care of your tanks, you don't use them every day. When you need a good, strong source of heat, oxyacetylene is a mechanic's best friend. Okay, thanks for watching. Until next time.